Hello, and welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming. Thank you for tuning in to another Spicy Toast video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Seraphine and what she would look like if she was added to the roster for Path of Champions. If you enjoy this type of video, please like and subscribe. First, let's go over the requirements for the deck. So after looking at a lot of the different decks for Path of Champions, there were some requirements that were pretty consistent through all of them. So first, it's 2 copies of 9 cards, so 18 cards total. Then of those cards, there's normally 2 to 3 that are spells. And lastly, most cards cost 4 or less. If there's any above that, it's normally just the champion or one higher cost card that's going to get reduced through champion levels. So now that we have the requirements in mind, let's go take a look at the deck we made for Seraphine. In game now, taking a look at the deck we made for Seraphine. First, let's just take a look at her so we can see how the deck is being built around. So she is a 2-drop, and she starts out as a 1/4. When I'm summoned, create a random 2 spell cost in hand, and she levels up when you've played 9 new spells this game. Once she levels up, she has the same effect of when I'm summoned, create a random new 2-cost spell in hand. But then also you get, when you play a new spell that costs 2 or less, copy it with the same targets. So whenever you're playing those new spells, she is constantly doubling the effect, and that can be quite fun. She's kind of like a low-level Karma almost, except it has to always be a new spell you're playing. Her champion spell is High Note, deal 2 to a unit, and then if you've played 6+ other new spells this game, deal 1 to another unit. So if you have that special modifier, it's essentially a better version of a Mystic Shot. So taking a look at the deck now, we have Acorn, the Hex Technician. Nexus Strike, reduce the cost of your most expensive spell in hand by 1. Very nice to have. Crowd Pleaser, give an ally +2 and quick attack this round. Flow, create a new 2-cost spell in hand. Very nice, cheap spell, giving you a good combat trick. And then if you have that flow effect, it gives you another spell. It's very nice, that flow effect, but it's also not needed. It's perfectly good without it. Eager Apprentice, when I'm summoned, refill 2 spell mana. So you can play this unit and then play a spell for essentially free, since most of your spells are going to be 2 or less. We have High Note. Now this is the same as her champion spell. It's always nice to have the champion spell in the starter deck. That way it can get items from your champion level ups. Very nice to have, especially if you get something like Diana or Ash where there's like a Hex Tech Fabricator on it. Could be very good. For a 3-drop, I put in Assembly Bot. When you play a spell, grant me 1/1. This could be a lot of fun with Seraphine's deck and give you a nice scaling unit. It's somewhat similar to how Master Yi's deck has Swole Squirrel, which every time it strikes, it gets, or it doubles its power. So having another fun condition you can have in your deck, unit you're trying to scale up just by playing spells, I think it could work out quite well. So we have the Zon Bouncer, round start, flow, refill 2 spell mana. Definitely could be nice getting this on the board, especially early. Keep refilling your mana for you. Drum Solo, draw 2. Flow, reduce those cards' cost by 2. Very nice to have. And this often will be cheaper because of the Acorn, reducing that spell cost. Fan Club President, play Manifest a spell that costs 5 and set its cost to 2. Very good card, and probably one that I'd want to see with like a Ancient Coin or something like that, to bring it down to maybe a 3 or 4 cost. Definitely very playable at that. It's a bit expensive at 5 cost with how fast tempo Path of Champions is. But Seraphine being a 2-drop, so you could play her the first round once you have her at her 2 stars, I think would be very nice. It'd be fun playing an early game champion that's not just focused on immediately rushing down the enemy nexus, and that's more focused on playing different spells and then once you have her leveled up, being able to double your spell effects would be quite interesting to play with. So I think this would be a fun deck to play around with, but let's now go look at her star powers. Taking a look at the Seraphine star powers now. So for the 2-star, we have Crowd Pleaser, +1 starting mana. When you play a new spell, grant allies 1/1. So you want to be generating those new spells, and when you do, you're able to buff up your board. Something new, rank 2, create a new spell and set its cost to 2. So if you needed, you could put a restriction on this, like create a new 5-cost spell and set its cost to 2, or adding any parameters as you need. I think it would be more fun just to add a no limitations on it with creating a new spell. So it could be any spell in the game and then just setting its cost to 2. So even if it was potentially lower, just having it be a new spell that could be anything would be a lot of fun and add a nice amount of randomness. For the 1-star power, I would have it be create a random 2-cost spell in hand. So any 2-cost spell, every round it'll just be generating a random one. So it might be something new, it might not. Being able to get this to always be a new spell every single round with the 3-star power would be quite fun. That means you get Crowd Pleaser off at least once a round, helping you to buff up your board. And then you'd always just be playing a random card. With Seraphine on board then, whatever spell you're playing is going to get doubled as long as she's leveled up. So it'd be a very fun, random playstyle that would probably be very interesting to play. It'd be nice to have an early game champion that's focused on just random spells, not like aggressive spells with Annie, or not just focused on like darkness with Vagar, but just very open, broad foundation that you could really play or work with to do many different play styles. I think it would be quite fun. So this is my thoughts on what a Seraphine deck could look like and what her star powers could potentially be. I did make the something new quite broad. They probably would want to make it a bit more focused, but I think the randomness would be quite fun. Definitely let me know down below what you guys think of Seraphine, whether or not you would want her added to the roster, and what star powers you think she would use. Thank you so much for watching that video. We're putting out daily content for Path of Champions, so if that interests you, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment down below. We're just starting out here on YouTube, trying to grow the channel, so any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you, and have a great day.